What's up, guys? So I got another carrier for you to check out. This one is interesting. It's nothing like Cricket, T-Mobile, Sprint, AT&T, or Verizon. It's very different. It's called FreedomPop. You might have heard of them at one point. The version I'll be reviewing is FreedomPop, Bring Your Own Device. So let me tell you a little about FreedomPop. It runs off of Sprint's tower. The plan I have is $20 a month for 1 gig of data and unlimited talk and text. I had an old iPhone 5 that was locked to Sprint. I received the unlock code from Sprint, but I was told it only works on getting the phone to Verizon. But FreedomPop allows you to enter the IMEI number of the device to check if it's compatible, and the Sprint iPhone turned out. So now that we got that out of the way, let me explain how it works. FreedomPop allows your phone to access Sprint's data network. This allows your phone to access the internet, but you can't call or text from the phone. You actually need to download their app so you can receive calls and text, sort of like Magic Jack or Vonage, if you're familiar with any of those services. But you can use Safari to browse the web, and you can download apps from the App Store. It'll just count against your data allowance. This definitely can turn away some customers like me, for example. I don't want my calls or texts through an app. I just find it messy, and I would prefer it come through the phone itself. If you try to make a call or text through the phone, you'll get an error message, and visual voicemail comes with extra costs. Now, I don't know if all this goes with a phone you can buy directly from FreedomPop, but for a BYOD, Bring Your Own Device, it does. Now, it's also worth mentioning that the Bring Your Own Device service is still in beta. FreedomPop has a warning disclaimer when you sign up for their services. Now, I've been testing their service for 1 month alongside my Cricket and Sprint phone, and here's what I think. Signing up for the service online is pretty painless. I only experienced 2 issues with the process. Number 1, my web browser was not fully supported by their website, and I was using Chrome. So it kept crashing when processing my payment. Second issue is they don't tell you have to download their app in order to make or receive calls and texts. After 30 minutes of trying to figure out why call or text was not working, I discovered I had to download their app, and I found this information from their question and answer section. Once your payment gets verified, it takes about 5 minutes for your phone to start showing an internet connection. Now, I work on the field, so I'm constantly traveling on the road. Coverage is decent. I checked my phone every 5 minutes and verified I had coverage every time I checked. I can't say the same for my Sprint phone. It beeps every now and then, alerting me I was roaming. Even in the basement at my job, I was able to make and receive calls, obtaining the excellent connection badge in the app. There was a small problem I had, though. The first call from the basement connected, but I couldn't hear the other person on the line, and they couldn't hear me. The speed test is not the greatest. It's about 2 megabytes per second if coverage is great. That's the highest I ever got. And 1 megabyte per second in most situations on an LTE data connection. The app works pretty good. I threw a lot of tests at it and it worked fine. I closed all apps and called the phone, and the app alerted me that a call was coming through. I reboot the phone and it still worked. I also did the same test with text. They also came through with no problems. Calling is no different with the app than the phone's dedicated phone app. New phones nowadays, they require you to open a separate app in order to view your recent calls or make a call. With the FreedomPop app, it's the same thing. You need to open their app to make calls or texts. But hey, at least calls and texts are done through one app. Now, one annoying thing with the app is when it rings, you have to unlock your phone, get inside the app, and answer the call. You can jump directly into the app from the lock screen. It may not be a problem depending on how fast you react when you receive the call, but if you're a little slow, you will more than likely miss it. So I'm in downtown Jacksonville, Florida. The area that I'm in is notorious for having crappy service for Sprint users. So let's go ahead and make a call and see how it goes.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
You can hear me loud and clear?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear.
Is it spotty?
No.
Okay. Calls that are made from the phone are okay. There is no delay that I could see. Text is also fine. No delays in sending or receiving texts. Now again, FreedomPop just gives your device internet connection, and the FreedomPop app uses that internet connection to manage calls and texts. But don't worry, even if you use your data allowance, your calls and messages will not be affected. FreedomPop don't count your data usage used by their app against your allowance. So again, if calls or texts were not coming through the app, I would have probably considered jumping aboard. I know the app is probably the only way for them to route calls to your phone, and it probably increases the amount of device they can support, but I just don't trust the app to alert me for everything. If you have an iPhone, you know what I mean. So many times, app notifications go unnoticed because they fail to alert me. Given their app will constantly ring until you do something is great, but in the end, there is room for problems and important calls can very well go unnoticed. Another thing worth mentioning is after I completed the review, I called FreedomPop to cancel my service, and instead, they downgraded my plan to the free 200 minutes, 500 text, 500 megabyte plan. That is the plan I originally tried to sign up for, but it seems they don't offer it online and they use it as a last resort to keeping you on board if you try to leave. But you will have to watch out because the rep did say they would automatically charge if I ran over my limit. So if you want the free plan with your BYOD, sign up and cancel. Now again, this is my full review on the FreedomPop Bring Your Own Device service with a Sprint iPhone 5. If you have FreedomPop and you bought your device directly from them, I would imagine that everything I just said would contradict what you know. So keep in mind that the BYOD service is fairly new for FreedomPop and it works slightly different from your service. Thanks for watching. Any questions or comment, leave them in the comment section below. I'll try to get back to you within 24 hours.